The transfer portal, everybody knows, it giveth and taketh away. It's becoming a bigger part of college sports. All three teams in the triangle in the last 27 hours have had to deal with some part of their future hitting the portal. Now, yesterday we talked about, and we will continue to talk about, there is some breaking news here. Mark Mitchell from Duke and Seth Trimble from UNC went into the portal yesterday. Kam Woods of NC State into the portal, according to Pack Pride, just less than 15 minutes ago. On 3 Sports also, it's been confirmed all over the place. Here's the takeaway. You have to be prepared for every any player on your team to decide it's time to move on. A 2-year starter that averages double-digit points for an Elite 8 team? Portal. The bench player, but the third leading vote getter for ACC Sixth Man of the Year, who could be expected to take on a bigger role next year? Portal. What about a player who just portaled into your school and wasn't even eligible at the beginning of the year, became eligible and has an opportunity to grow into a bigger role? Portal. Now, without names, I just described Mark Mitchell at Duke, Seth Trimble at UNC, and Kam Woods at NC State. The coaches that are adapting quicker are better set up for success because these situations are going to be on your doorstep whether you want to acknowledge it or not. So the irony of this all is when you talk Jon Scheyer, when you talk Hubert Davis, when you talk Kevin Keatts, when you talk about any coach, we're so tempted to say, how great are they at player development? We're so tempted to say, how great are they at talent evaluation? We're so tempted to say, how great are they at in-game X's and O's, substitutions? How great are they at drawing up plays and sets? Actually, the UConn National Championship against Purdue was one of the few times I saw Twitter getting really excited about, like, plays. They're talking about how awesome the scheme was for UConn and how cutters were wide open and they always seemed one step ahead of Purdue. We think about coaching so much in those traditional ways. I'm starting to think that one of, if not the most important thing a coach can do is not panic and adjust in team building. You're going to think you have your roster built in a certain way, and you're going to think your job is done. And for a century of college basketball, you would have been. Right? You got commitments from the recruits to fill the positions that you need, and you have these guys returning. You would have been cool taking the wife and kids on a vacation. Right? When everybody enrolls in school and gets back for summer workouts, I'll be here. But the job is done. Not anymore. Now it's cool. I like the way my team is. Oh, wait, we got to replace our starting power forward. Cool. I like the way our team is. Oh, wait, we got to replace our sixth man from last year. Cool. I like the way our team is. Or even, cool. I like the plan we have for how to assemble our team. Wait, scrap that plan. A guy I was expecting to have a bigger role next year isn't going to be here.
Yeah, one of my starters for the last 2 years is gone.
It's that quick. So who do you trust? More to scramble out of those 3 coaches is in a lot of ways who you think's program has the brighter future. Because there's more coming. I was going to say just now, next offseason there's going to be more departures, and they're going to have to scramble again. I'm not even going to – there's more coming this year. There are players that will hit the portal that we haven't heard yet from schools in the triangle. I'm almost guaranteed of it, and that's without insider information. That's not me saying like I talked to a sophomore who's no. I'm saying just look around.
I mean, it's almost inevitable.
It's almost inevitable. Did you just snap?
Yes.
All right. That was to show how quick it could be. Is that what that was? Okay.
Like Thanos.
I didn't know if you were. Oh, okay. Even bigger snap. And based on the last 2 years, look at those coaches: Hubert Davis, Jon Scheyer, Kevin Keatts. We can guess how they're going to attack this, right? If they're all put on their heels, they're all reacting, they all have to scramble now. We have a good idea of how they're going to handle it, right? Duke will promote from within. Player transfers out, they're going to look to their high school recruits, either this year, meaning the freshmen this year, or next year's recruiting class, to play bigger minutes. Somebody transfers out, okay, cool. Mark Mitchell transfers out. Maybe it's Sean Stewart taking those minutes, a freshman that didn't play much. Maybe it's TJ Power, a freshman that didn't play much. Maybe it's part of the number one recruiting class incoming that'll take those minutes. I would not expect them to go get a second or third leading scorer out of the transfer portal. I think they can go get a veteran presence, like more of a role player.
Like they did with Ryan Young. Ryan Young was a transfer for 2 years.
But it doesn't appear as if they look for difference makers in the portal. They promote from within. UNC, Seth Trimble leaves, they have no problem looking for a difference maker in the portal. There's not a role that they don't feel comfortable filling in the portal, with the acknowledgement that there are certain cornerstones that they have on their roster. Right? If R.J. Davis comes in, there's probably not going to be a major shooting guard. If R.J. Davis stays, I should say. There probably won't be a major shooting guard out of the portal. But if they can get maybe a taller, more 3-and-D style wing, absolutely. If they can get a post player, absolutely. They can use Seth Trimble's scholarship on whatever they need. Remember, last year at this time, the Harrison Ingram, the Cormac Ryan, like all of these guys were coming in from the portal.
Jalen
Withers, Paxton Wojcik, like all of these guys were portal players. And then you know what NC State's going to do.
Oh, yeah.
The transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh away. They brought Kam Woods out of the portal. He's gone in less than a year later. They'll bring somebody else in. They know the way to the portal. Which do you like best? I think as a fan, you're tempted to say Duke's way is the best because then you just get to know players. Like, hey, I got to know that guy. I was excited when they recruited him, and now he gets his chance. I think from a success standpoint, it's hard to argue with really any of the three. They've all had some form of success in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I think it's better to build like Duke.
It might be, because the analogy I said to you earlier was there's a lot of noise when it comes to in the recruiting process, whether it's transfers or, hey, I didn't recruit this guy because I didn't expect, one player on my team to all of a sudden hit the transfer portal, so I didn't recruit this person. Now I'm scrambling. The best way to handle the noise is when you already turn the volume down before it even starts. And that's what Duke is doing right now. Like, you know what? We're just going to get our own guys. We'll build from within. That way we don't have to worry about scrambling to get 5 guys out of the portal.
And you get to tell your young guys there's a chance.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's very difficult when somebody is unproven to bring in a transfer over them and then look at them in the eye. Because unproven doesn't mean not good. It means you didn't really get the chance.
Yeah.
Like if Duke were to bring in a 3-man to replace Mark Mitchell, a 4-man, 3.5-man, right? That kind of forward combo spot to replace Mark Mitchell. How do you then look at Sean Stewart and TJ Power? Right? They didn't play very much this past year. And then what are they saying, right, to the people from their state's AAU programs, right? It's like, I don't know, man. I went there and they didn't really give me a shot, and they brought in a transfer to take my job. The fact of the matter is this. It's not going anywhere, and how you handle it, both as a human and a coach, impacts your program moving forward. Right? Because the elite basketball world is a much smaller world than you think. All the AAU teams, they talk. Chris Paul has an elite AAU program that he runs. I think he said something like 12 of them have played against him in the NBA. Like, it's a small world at the elite level. They talk. He has to tell G.G. Jackson, a guy that he coached, to stop calling him coach when they're playing against each other on the NBA floor. The guy will score against him and be like, hey, coach. No, don't call me coach.
No, we're equals now.
Call me CP or a bad word.
It's like Mr. Paul.
Cliff Paul. State Farm. It's Kam Woods in the portal, for those that haven't just tuning in. An NC State player transferred in last year, transferring out this year. It is a conveyor belt on the portal in the ACC.
The volatility of college athletic rosters is just unprecedented.
I'm easily unprecedented because there's things that weren't available.
You didn't see it even 3 years ago. You weren't seeing this.
I don't think players knew how much option they had 3 years ago.